Okay, this time round we've got something a little bit different. We're looking at an achievement in EU4. It's called For Odin, and the theory with this is that you need to own all of Scandinavia, which is what we're looking at here. Includes Denmark, Norway, Sweden. I believe it actually takes a bit of the Kola Peninsula, as well as Iceland and this province here in Greenland, as well as all of the British Isles, which you're looking at here. So it includes Orkney, Faroe Islands, Scotland, England, and Ireland. So, in addition to capturing all that territory, you need to do it as a custom nation, and that custom nation needs to be Norse. That adds a couple of problems because you're going to be Norse surrounded by Catholic kingdoms, and you're going to be hated by absolutely everyone. You're going to have no allies in terms of religious types because your Norse religion no longer exists as an organized state religion, and you're going to be very isolated. In addition to that, you can only spend 201 points, so I've gone for 200 in the custom nation builder, and you can't have any more than 5 provinces. So what I've done is I've made a nation. I've called it Danelaw, actually. Danelaw being a historical part of England, which is kind of here-ish. There's a territory that was conquered by the Danish, and the reign of King Canute was ended by Edward the Confessor inheriting England and being an English king, and that ending your sort of Scandinavian ownership of that territory. But for a large period of time, England has been sort of owned by Vikings, and really the history of England is a history of Vikings beating up other Vikings. And your Anglo-Saxons are people who immigrated from Scandinavia to Germany to England. Then you have your Vikings, which went straight from Scandinavia, and even in your 1066 Battle of Hastings, William the Conqueror, which came from Normandy, who were settled Vikings who were invading France, and then were asked, hey, look, if you're going to keep beating up France, how about we just give you some of our stuff? You can have this territory here in Normandy. In exchange for that territory in Normandy, you can defend us from other Vikings. And then eventually that led to William the Conqueror invading England and setting himself up as king. So really the English history is one of various Vikings taking their shot at it over a period of time, and how far removed you are from Vikings. So in this case, our custom nation is really just bringing back that Vikings taking over England feel. So I've made a little emblem which has the Norse religious symbol and the same kind of color as a background. I went for white because we're gonna, in theory, be conquering all these top territories, and there's no countries that are really white in that area. We're actually probably gonna have Austria inherit the lowlands, so maybe white's gonna look a bit messy there, but hopefully we shouldn't actually need to mess with that territory at all. The main issue is that England is red, Scotland is yellow, and we have red again in Denmark. Red would be a bad choice. We could go black, but that doesn't look as nice on the map. Maybe green was the other thought, but yeah, we're going to go with white. And that's what this sigil looks like here. Let me show you some other stuff we've got. So in order to get in this 200 points of a custom nation, I've spent a lot of it on having a good starting ruler, whose name is Elizabeth, which is randomly generated. She cost us 31 points out of 200, which is quite a lot because she has 6 in all her stats. She really knows what she's doing in all fields, and she's incredibly young, so unless something terrible goes wrong, she will live for a long time. She also has a brother or cousin or someone as the next in line as an heir who is a 10-year-old who is absolutely terrible at everything. So hopefully Samuel dies off horribly in some way. We chose our culture as Danish. We could actually choose whatever culture we wanted. We could, be Highlander, or we could be Burmese if we really wanted. That doesn't actually affect the game. I went with Danish because if we do form an empire, what that means is that all cultures in that same group, in that same Danish culture group, will actually be accepted. So we'll have Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian quite comfortably in there. We're Western technology, which is what everyone else is in the region. We've chosen Western map graphics. We don't really have any really neat choices. Actually, we can go Inuit. I'm going to change it to Inuit right now because let's make it look different. And our government is a theocracy. Now, a theocracy gives you less tolerance of heretics, which isn't a big issue because everyone is actually heathens to us, not really heretics. It gives us 2 tolerance of true faith. The theory here is that we're going to conquer a lot of people of a lot of different ethnic groups who aren't going to be particularly happy, but once we do convert them to our religion, they get this +2 tolerance. So our theocracy is going to be very tolerant of Norse people, and we're going to make as many people Norse as possible. as we see in this starting map mode, that is not very many, but we've got some. I'm going to go from there. Our government rank is Holy State. Now we could change it up to an empire. However, we can just change it to an empire later on when we get enough territory. The empire bonuses really are about increasing our accepted cultures, and there's also a couple of little bonuses there in terms of autonomy and that sort of thing, but it's not really that expensive. We could go down to a duchy to save us 10 points, but I think Holy State, let's stick with the kingdom for now, rather than squeezing in those 10 points, which maybe wasn't the best idea. Okay, here are our ideas on the subject of ideas. We're going to start with missionary strength and national unrest. Missionary strength because we're going to be converting territories, hopefully all of Ireland really quickly. National unrest because, like I said, we're going to have a lot of conquering, we're going to have a lot of war exhaustion, we're going to have a lot of different cultures just to help put down some of those rebellions. Our early ideas are sort of in that same kind of concept. Less aggressive expansion to try and ease up on coalitions early, an extra missionary to convert stuff, and that accepted culture threshold as well to hopefully get Irish in as soon as possible. And then we've got a whole pile of military stuff later on. The last ambition I went was heavy ship combat because once we've conquered all of Britain, which is what we'll kind of try and do first, we will need to fight the navies of the Kalmar Union over here. In here we have inland seas which have galley bonuses, and these nations tend to have a lot of galleys, but we can ignore that entirely, and if we do a war around here, then heavy ships on the open seas is what we really want. And if we can avoid this kind of territory and start conquering from the north down, our heavy ships are going to be a lot more valuable, and we're going to get a lot of value against those galleys. So hanging around here will be great. Here would be terrible, as galleys get bonuses in inland seas. Alright, other than that then, let's save this nation. Danelaw, done, sounds great. And give it a shot. So we're going to be playing this in Iron Man mode to try and get this achievement. And let's jump into it. I think what we're going to see early is we're going to see Ireland be where we're trying to do all our conquering. In terms of the territories we've actually started with and have taken, we've taken pretty much all of the best English territories. Because of those best English territories being removed, we're going to have England be weaker than its neighbours, which is really what we want to go for. Because a weak England is going to mean that we're going to be able to fill that power gap nicely in Britain. England's by far the strongest country on the island, and if we were taking Scottish territories or Irish territories, then we would not be weakening England in that. So we're kind of scattered at the beginning, but it leaves us in such a great spot. We have London, which is an absolutely amazing province. It's already got our culture and our religion, and England has 9,000 army there. Now England has a whole pile of early starting events which can be quite bad for it, with the War of the Roses, and let's hope we don't have a Lancaster king. We'll see what we're doing here. So we get to choose a deity as well. I am going to probably go for core creation cost, to be honest, because we're going to want to try and eat up Ireland as soon as possible. Is there anything else that really jumps out as better than that? Not at all. I don't think we're going to need this land leader shock or fort defense to beat up the Irish miners. This manpower and tax modifier will be nice later, but let's go core creation cost. And let's look at missions. Remove Ulster from the map. Beautiful. We do want... Excellent. We do want to be able to fabricate those claims as soon as possible. England is likely to ally with one of the miners, and that's probably going to draw us into that early war. But let's get our army shipped over there. We're going to look at our rivals. Alright, well we can't choose any of the miners as rivals because we're too powerful, which is a huge shame. Denmark, England and Scotland are going to be our rivals for the whole game, so let's just jump into it then, I guess. I was kind of hoping that we might be able to have Scotland as a friend. They want one of our territories, different religion. Yeah, it was never really going to happen, was it? We were never really going to have a good start there. We're going to take this mission to remove Ulster from the map. Our nobility wants a territory. Let's give him this one. It's got a nice castle. We'll get that local defensiveness and manpower bonus. Oh, it's Irish. We're Irish here. Okay. We've got Danish on the main territory. No, but this one's Irish. That'll hopefully help us accept that soon. I am going to start building some troops. So we've got 4 in our force limit. Let's start building them here. And we'll send our army over. And then hopefully, in theory, we're going to have England start guaranteeing people, but hopefully not Ulster. Let's fabricate some claims here. And once we take Ulster, yeah, we've got a lot of people adjacent to us. We've got a lot of money. Having London is pretty bloody good. Alright, we have a nice fleet as well. We're going to protect trade in the English Channel, which is where we're collecting trade from. We're making a lot of money. Let's switch to admin as our focus so we can core those territories and get our tech up. We're probably... Diplomatic rep isn't going to help us here. 5% discipline. That will help us minimize our losses going through. So let's unpause and see how this goes. I'm going to put up the speed a little bit. What I want to do here is watch what England does. England allied with Scotland. Never seen that before ever. That's vaguely terrifying for us. Did not expect that to happen. United English-Scottish force. Alright. Absolutely terrible. Okay. Well, we're going to need some allies here. Except all their rivals are also our rivals. France is perhaps an option. I'm going to pull back one of these and really try... Yeah, excellent. Really try and make friends with France. We start off on the back foot, but we do have some similar rivals. That'll give us a benefit there, I suppose. And let's jump into taking these territories. Allied with Kildare. Alright. So we're going to get a big convoluted war pop up. Terrible general. Because as soon as we declare war, all of these miners are going to pull their friends in together. And then we've got to be careful that we don't lose our mainland to England, which I can definitely see happening. Alright, let's get these troops together. One big army. We've got our Casus Belli on Ulster from our mission. And they're allied with Kildare. We don't have our claim yet on Kildare, but might as well do it. We're going to get this aggressive expansion. Everyone's going to hate us. It's going to be terrible, but I'm pretty sure we can fight 2 miners at a time. Tyrone is allied with Thomond. This is really just so different to usual. Just adding our extra little country in has really changed up the politics of Britain, which totally makes sense. Now we're a new threat that these guys can all ally behind. I'm actually going to neg 200. We might try and... We can't really improve relations here. We've just got to hope that England is destabilized enough that we can do a good effort here. I'm just going to crush these 2 armies. We should be able to quite easily conquer all of these. Now, maybe it might be worth vassalizing some of this. We do have that core creation, but our aggressive expansion is going to get huge, and they'll also help convert it once we convert them down as well. Allied with Ulster. Our next war will be on Tyrone, and they're allied with Thomond, who are here. Alright, so I'm going to pull back my guy from Kildare because it doesn't actually matter at all, because we can't fabricate a claim while we're at war. We're going to switch fabricating to this, because hopefully by the time we take both of these, take Kildare and Ulster, then we'll start a war on Tyrone, which will call in Thomond, and we'll have our claim fabricated and be good to go. This is going to be incredibly messy though. And we've got to do it, kind of a ticking time bomb, before England just declares war on us, which they will absolutely do at some point. Um, After we take these, I'm going to have to start shipping my troops back to England because we need to have something there. 11,000. So, two 11,000 strong armies. They've got an heir, which means this whole War of the Roses thing, way less of a deal. Um, Not looking good. Not looking good at all. But we'll see how it goes. Just gonna check these sieges, 21 and 28. We're not going to get anything from Scotland. Maybe Scotland is... they're still allied, they'd still go to war. Alright, England's claiming London. That's pretty fair. I am going to actually move these troops back a lot faster. What we'll do is we might vassalize Kildare. They've got a couple of claims. Well, same kind of claims as me, actually. Vassalize Kildare and see how they go holding that off. We really can't afford to get everyone killed. Alright, we're going to call back French diplomat. We'll make Kildare be a vassal. We'll take their money. No, we won't. We will leave them with their money so that they can actually rebuild their army quite fast. And then Ulster we will take, because we do have that claim, and we'll definitely take their money. Then we'll call that, which will take a little bit. And now Kildare are our vassals. We need them to have a positive view of us, which isn't actually too hard. Rival is France. Okay. It's going to be hard, but we'll give it a shot. Now, if with Kildare we can improve our relations with them, keep most of our army in London, keep Kildare north when we can, and then what we'll be able to do is you'll be able to roll through and hopefully do a whole pile of wars at once and get our Irish vassal quite big. So, prestige would be nice, we're apparently losing money. Alright. Kildare is still really low, and they're probably not going to... Yeah, they're not going to be able to marry because they're a different religious group, so we're going to have to get them above 100, then change religion, then marriage. So it's a bit of a hike there, but definitely doable. We really want to get this Irish culture accepted as soon as possible. That'll help increase that autonomy as well. That'll help get us the religious converting faster as well. We got one more slot for our unit cap. We'll build it here because we do want to be able to help out our neighbours. Oh, 22k. It's a big army in England. Now, hopefully they're going to do other things other than declare on us quite early, but they have France is definitely going to be our best bet. Alright, so, well, Kildare's already got that claim, but we might as well fabricate one as well. Going to bring that back. We can't actually fabricate this claim on Ottoman now because we don't have a neighbouring province because we made Kildare a vassal. But that's okay, we're going to have plenty of wars anyway. Really need to keep this going with France. French alliance would be quite difficult, especially since we can't marry them. And they're allied to Scotland. I think the Scottish rival is a bad idea. We might change that in a bit. We'll see how it goes. They have no rivals other than us, though. And allied with England. What a start. What a start indeed. Well, let's have a look at the rest of the world. So we're only 2 years in. Ottomans being sieged by Venetians. Alright. Venetian Ragusan trade war. Great. So Ragusa. It's a war with Venice and their vassals. And the Ottomans, who had guaranteed Ragusa in there. Yep. Seems fair there. Venetian peasants in Venice as well. Beautifully done. Burgundy declaring war on Provence. Pretty straightforward there as well. What else can we see? I can see autosave. Crimea and Circassa. Crimea comfortably winning that. And Muscovy doing well against the hordes here as well. Kazan losing that by a decent bit. But that gives Novgorod a bit of relaxation. What we really want here is we want all of the neighbours to Denmark to be quite strong, to beat them up. But not so strong as to take much of their territory, because we need to take it all back. This Britain debacle is going to quickly get out of hand, but hopefully we can get enough from Ireland before that happens. This is going to be a tough fight, though, and I think it's going to be a bit of back and forth. I think we're going to lose a bit before we win a bit. We definitely need to do this quickly. Alright, let's do another war then. Maybe the best way to get our vassals to like us is to give them territory. And then we can diploannex it all in one go. We can use their claims, and we can push Kildare's wall. Kildare's right in the middle, so it's got a whole pile of people it can fabricate claims on. We don't actually need... Let's leave that, that's probably enough troops. We'll take our 8,000. And Kildare is loyal to us. They don't like us, but they're loyal. And if we push their claims, they'll like us even more. So they have a claim on Cork. Let's see who else they've got claims on. And Tyrone. Easy. Clanricarde. So either way, we're not going to get a war with 2 claims. But we can definitely take Tyrone adjacent to us. We've got that claim. And Cork is a Clanricarde. Okay. Let's do this one then. We'll do the Tyrone Thomond War, which will be really, really quick. We use... Yeah, we'll give that one to them as well. And then we'll take Leinster next as ours. We've got more troops. We've got our discipline leader. And a pretty decent general as well. For a 1-point general. 2 shock, 1 siege is nice. We've done alright there. We'll just chase them down. And we'll start capturing that. And then if Thomond actually swing into the woods in Kildare to fight our vassal, then we can go in and help. That's not a problem. We'll take our transport navy and we'll sit it over here. That'll blockade and speed this up. Thomond are completely not helping the ally, so well done there. Honestly, don't think leaving a diplomat here is going to help at all. They've got more than negative 200 against us, and that's the cap. So really, what have they got? Rival 100, 250, about 250. So we'd have, even if we did a full plus 100, they'd still be at negative 150, which isn't a great way to be. I'll stick my diplomat back here in France. Alright, now that's just diddy bopping along. Anything else interesting happening in the world? Alright, this Venetian war is turned around incredibly. So we can't actually see exactly what's going on. We can see black is occupied by peasants, red is occupied by Ragusa. Ragusa is a one territory little guy here who's really doing some heavy lifting. They're guaranteed by the Ottomans, so imagine it's probably Ottoman troops that are doing most of it. Yeah, we'll lose that prestige. Ottoman troops are doing most of the work. But Ragusa's, I guess they'll get Istria, which would be nice. We'll keep an eye on that, see how that all went. We had a little pop up a second ago about England choosing a new rival, which is Castile. Castile is really far away from us to be a good ally, and they're rivals with France, so we're not going to get both of them. But we could do something. Alright, Kildare now likes us. We can now go to them and make them Norse, which they obviously hate. Plus 100%. That'll take a little bit of time for that to come down, but they are Norse and they're converting that province. What a cool guy there. Excellent preacher. Now I chose Inuit as my unit models. Pretty happy with that actually. I wanted something that would stand out and be a bit different, and that has definitely worked. Alright, Ulster is now our core. We can now convert that. That takes 1,000,000 years. That non-accepted culture is huge. Irish, excellent. Irish is now an accepted culture, they've just said. So now, we got rid of that 2%. Beautiful. That's going to take way less. I love it. They only took one province. That's really good. Now hopefully this can deter England a little bit. Yeah, I know they have a high liberty desire. We just told them to convert. Maybe they think they have to wear our Inuit jackets. They don't. They can wear what they like. I will be attacking by myself. My vassal will not help me because now they're suddenly disloyal. But I should do okay anyway, even with the woods and the crossing. It's a close one, but it's happening. There we go. Now, no one's got a claim on this, which is a real pain. We've both got a claim on this. I'm gonna take it. I was planning on giving it to them, but I've totally changed my mind now. With this liberty desire being so big, making them any stronger isn't going to be great. I will give stuff to them later, once they've cooled down, because they will help me convert it. I might give them Desmond, for example. But I'll take this, which means that I can fabricate a claim nicely on here. We just got to juggle those adjacent provinces. I mean, this is now really a game of just hanging out and waiting until England declares war and try and get as much stuff as possible before then. We're kind of getting close to that plus 100 with France. We won't get an alliance. We're still, even without that war, we're still 74 behind. That's all due to that Scotland thing. We can make up the rest, but we can't make up that. Alright, let's wait and see how much we need to core before we level that up. In terms of our first idea group, I'm actually thinking something diplomatic, just because we're going to need those admin points and military points. Whereas actual diplomatic stuff isn't going to matter because no one's going to be our friend. Something like maritime ideas, in theory, is a good idea, but I don't know. None of it really jumps out at me. Sailor modifier we couldn't care less about. Our tradition's pretty good, I guess. Repairing coastal sea zones. I think, though, our navy stuff is kind of late game. Might actually be exploration ideas. The sooner we can get our Norse colonists going, the better. And that gives us a good fallback as well. In case everything goes terrible in England, we've got something else we can do. Naval race against Scotland. Have 18 ships. We're pretty close to that anyway. That gives us pretty good rewards. Alright, we need 6 more ships. It's expensive, but doable. Now, is it even worth trying to fight the combined fleets of Scotland and England? Probably not. I'm just going to go for some light ships. We'll build some light ships, and then when war happens, we'll immediately duck into a port and disappear. Because we don't want to actually fight it out. Because that would be terrible. Alright. Let's bring back our ambassadors and start doing this peace treaty. So I'm going to take this even though I don't have a claim. This aggressive expansion isn't really going to matter too much, unfortunately. Because everyone's going to hate us anyway. Alright, so here's the question that I've answered twice now and I'm still not sure. Do we give this to our vassal or to us? If we... See, they actually like us a fair bit, but they're rebellious. The more we give it to them, the less likely it is to... They're not really going to be less rebellious if they're more powerful. I'm going to take it. We've got some work on our hands ahead. I'll give it to them a bit later when they like us. It also means we get their gold. Well, I guess we get that anyway. Takes 23 months. 41 months, ouch. We got a lot to do. We might have to hire a... In fact, what? Why don't we have one? We should really get a person who's a missionary. Let's look at our clergy. We'll make a generous donation to them. And we will seek their support, which now means we can recruit an... Oh, we've got a big coalition against us, who I thought. Recruit an Inquisitor on the cheap. It'll be this guy, Vladimir Unz. And that'll speed everything along. It won't cost us too much. Definitely need that. Alright, let's speed everything up there. We've got... Honestly, actually, a coalition of all of these miners isn't the worst thing in the world because it means we can do a whole big war all at once. England's at negative 1 million anyway. 45, yeah, they won't join the coalition yet. But it's pretty bloody close. We'll still need our guy placating that. Otherwise, we're doing pretty well in Ireland. We're going to have some rebels at some point. Catholic Zealots. They're still slow going. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't give them too many provinces because we've got all these cool national ideas that make us a much better 1.5%, as well as we've now hired this advisor. Our missionary strength is huge, and our vassal is not. Our vassal has not unlocked any ideas, but they have trade efficiency and trade steering. So that's going to mean that they're going to have a much harder time getting everything going. I will give them a couple of other provinces, especially if they've got claims that I don't. It'll help things along. But really, it's not super important. This will just give me a little couple of extra troops on the island, and they'll be able to keep us a bit safer there. Because I've got so many diplomatic relations, no one's going to be my ally. I might as well. We would not go to war with England. That is not worth doing. Alright, let's see what England's up to. How was Brittany? Great. How'd this war go? Yeah, here we go. Wow. Ragusa took Dalmatia, as we thought they would. They've also released Aquileia. And I think give Brescia back to Milan. Yeah, wow. Milan is doing well. Free, huge province. And the Ottomans now are at war with Albania. That's going to be a short war. Nothing else jumps out. Oh yeah, Poland doing its thing. China is losing badly. I'm gonna send these guys back. Because we do not have... Oh, I lost my... I just straight up lost my transports. My transports were sitting here. They must have been in a battle, and I completely didn't notice. That is really going to hamper us. Alright, I'm going to pause this and catch up on that. That was super unattentive of me. We need to build more cogs. Because we have this across the Sea Empire, we can't at all rely on people giving us access. Now, if they declare war on us right now, we're in huge trouble. These guys can't get off island. These guys are all by themselves. That'll be absolutely atrocious. I hope they don't do that. That would be bad for me. We can't really even use them here because we'll get dragged into this big coalition, and we can probably still win against them. But they outnumber us quite a lot, and it'd be very easy for that to turn south. Just going to gather up all my ships in London and get them trading. We have a pretty good navy, but it's all light ships now. We really need those transports. These guys aren't going to give us military access because they hate us. And Scotland's in the same boat, I dare say. Yeah. Alright, combining this fleet together. We'll extend it to protect trade in the channel. My two fleets should meet up. Neat, alright. War exhaustion over extension. The active missionary will stop. Yeah. So that's a good show of what Ireland looks like because we have that theocracy. We've got a heap of tolerance, at 5 points of tolerance. And the increased autonomy gets us pretty good. This should be the same, but it's going to be a while. We'll need to definitely beat up some rebels, but because they're all separate types of rebels, it's not too bad. So there are Tavernian separatists and Thermondian separatists. They're not, Irish or Catholic or any large group. So that means that I can handle them one at a time, and their timers are all completely separate. Okay, 1451. We've got a decent but messy chunk of island. We haven't touched England, and we're in a dire diplomatic strait, but we're doing alright until this war with England. We've lost our boats. We haven't lost the game, but there are some pretty big concerns, because this war is an inevitability. They will absolutely be declaring war. They've already got a claim on London, which they will absolutely want. If we can get France as an ally, that would be nice. And we're really close? Oh my. What this means is if it'll be a good deterrence. Well, that's bloody good. It'll be a good deterrence. They won't want to attack us because of this. They'll lose all their continental territories. The French Navy will be able to help us out a fair bit. Alright. I'm happy with that. We got our mission. Convert Tyrone. We are well on our way. Now that has just turned everything around. If we convert Tyrone, we get that mission, which was 1% missionary strength. And it lasts for quite a while, it lasts for 10 years. We can convert all of Ireland in that time. And now we've got our couple of cogs. I'm going to ship our army back over. Actually, let's... Oh yeah, it's using yellow cogs. Nice. Kildare is helping us out there. Alright. Things back on track.